Hi everyone, Angela here. Today I'm sharing more sewing hacks using everyday items you may already have at home, plus a couple other things I made using simple supplies from the hardware store. I'm one of these people that can't walk through a hardware store without thinking, how can I use this in my sewing room? If you haven't seen it already, make sure to check out my other video. I share about 70 more sewing hacks. Also, let me know down in the comments what's your go-to hardware store or dollar store find for sewing. This is the foot pedal controller for my Juki TL2010Q sewing machine. I've just added some extra non-slip pads on the feet. To drive the machine, press down on the front blue part of the foot pedal, and then to cut the threads, you just press down on the back with your heel. This is super convenient, but you don't want to accidentally cut your threads when you're top stitching. To prevent this, you can purchase this rubber foot pedal switch stopper. It simply fits onto the back of the foot pedal like a shoe. I'll leave a link for this down in the description. You can still push down on the front to sew, but the stopper will prevent your heel from pushing down on the back. If you need a quick alternative, you can use felt furniture pads. Stick them around the corners and across the front, right underneath the overhanging edge. Make sure the pad is the right width from the edge to the floor and that it's thick enough. You can see here I can still easily press down over it. Add another piece on top if you need to, and it'll work fine as a stopper. And once you're done your top stitching, you just need to peel it away. These inexpensive bamboo dish racks can be handy for a couple of things. Use the pegs as a bow maker. With the multiple pegs, you can easily make your bows in different sizes. To use as another tool, I'm removing the center pegs and joining the sides together by screwing mending plates onto each side. When adding elastic onto a waistband, you usually first have to mark or pin it into equal sections. You then have to do the same on the garment and then pin together on those marks. If it's really wide, you may have to divide it up into more even sections. To use the rack, first stretch the garment to see which peg it reaches. Then stretch the elastic over the ends of those pegs. Pin the seams together where you'd like them to line up. Then stretch the garment over the elastic, match the top edges, and pin all around. This will save you a little bit of time as you won't need to measure or mark anything. Use as many pins as necessary to sew your elastic in evenly. These are my plastic adjustable drawer dividers. One side easily pulls out to the length you need, and to retract, just press the button and push in. With the elastic pinned to the garment at one seam, place the drawer divider in between the elastic. Extend the drawer divider to stretch out the elastic and garment. Match the edges and pin all around. Once it's all pinned, simply press the button to remove the divider and it's ready to be sewn evenly all around. I also want to mention these dividers come in different sizes so you can get shorter or longer lengths. I also made a simple elastic expander using a narrow PVC pipe. Using a hacksaw, I'm cutting the pipe so I have two short pieces and a long one. I'm adding elbows onto the ends of the longer piece to connect the shorter pieces at a right angle. To finish it off nicely, I also added caps onto the ends. Again, stretch the elastic around the top, pin the garment all around, and then it can easily slide off those curved ends. If you need your expander in different widths, you can always add a joiner to another piece of pipe. When I first saw these small paint rollers, I just knew I could use them for sewing. It has a small narrow cover about 6 inches wide. What matters most is this wide flared edge at the top of the handle. You'll also need small spring clamps like these, or even better, mini C-clamps like these. First, I put a piece of non-slip liner on the edge of the table. Line up the roller so that the inner edge is close to the presser foot. Moving the roller straight back, clamp the handle securely to the edge of the table. The angle of the handle keeps the roller elevated above the table. It's pretty secure, but I'm still going to switch over to the C-clamps. Place the pinned elastic around the roller with the edges close to the inner edge of the roller cover. Using the roller may be easier for some to stretch the fabric and elastic with both hands in the front. This eliminates having to hold the fabric and elastic from behind to stretch it out. The roller will move as you sew. You just need to check that the fabric stays on it. Yes, there are proper tools that you can purchase, but they'll be a little bit more expensive. For top stitching, add an edge guide, flip over if you want, and again, stretch towards you as you stitch. If you're finding this video helpful, make sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on all notifications, and leave a comment below. As always, I'd love to know where you're watching from. You can also show your support by becoming a member or tapping the thanks button down below. I made a handheld tool that's adjustable, again using a narrow PVC pipe and another pipe that's one size larger so it can fit inside. I also use bolts, washers, nuts, and caps for one end of each pipe. Using a hacksaw, I cut down both pipes to a shorter length. Then, about an inch from one end, I drilled a hole right through on each pipe to fit the bolt. On the larger pipe, I made cuts on the other end. Using side cutters, I marked 4 small triangles. Using a smaller hacksaw, I made 4 rough cuts. I then added a small hose clamp with a butterfly grip right on the end. For the ends of the pipes, I added a couple of kids' rolling pins. You just need to saw away or snap off the handles. Of course, you can use other rollers. This is just what I could easily find. Onto the bolt, I added a washer, then the roller, another washer, and then the nut. Check that the roller spins freely. I then added another washer, the pipe, a washer again, tightened it with the butterfly nut, and added a cap on the end. I repeated this with the other pipe, inserted it into the larger one, and tightened it up at the length I needed. Stretch the elastic and fabric around the rollers and pin all around. Slide under the presser foot and hold on to the pipe as you sew. You can hold on to the pipe so that it's stationary and let the roller spin, but I find it easier to just stitch and then pull the whole frame back towards you. Also, depending on your fabric, you may not need to pin at all. For top stitching, fold over the top edge onto the rollers and add an edge guide. Again, there are proper tools and entire frames that you can put around your machine, but this is just a quick make for anyone who needs a bit of help. Be sure to check out some of my other sewing hacks and tutorials. Thanks again for watching. Take care and happy sewing.